20th of August 2020. How's it going, guys? We're going to do another walk in the park here. Look at that sun. Boy, it's bright today, ain't it? It looks great. You're picking up trash up there. So what are we going to talk about today, guys? Let's talk a little bit a little bit closer so they can hear me because I don't know how to pick up too good. Let's talk about biokinetic energy, chai, however you want to say it. I was listening to Suspicious Observers this morning, and they were talking about a supernova. And talking about a lot of things they still don't understand out there in the universe too. And how that they use carbon monoxide to be able to tell how some of it actually functions out there, how they analyze it, how the particles in a way stay together, what they believe how they stay together in a way. What talking about? Well, this brings up something that makes me think a little bit about this biokinetic energy. Now, you know, I don't know if you remember, guys, but several months ago I did a small little video talking about how something had changed here. And like if you push or pull this energy, it felt more cooler, it felt colder. And I get to think about this. You know, he was talking about gases, carbon dioxide, one of the gases, and how the magnetic energy would keep the structure together. You know, I think they said something, if you thought of it like a big old block of ice inside of a volcano, I mean, how would that be? Why wouldn't it vaporize, you know? Well, you know, there's a lot of things, beliefs, how they believe this energy works too. But the gases that comes off of us, if you look at that at least, has to be managed, balanced, you know, too. Dealing with what they call the chi or chai energy. But if something did change here, say, I mean, what I got thinking about is if, like, they're talking from a supernova, how many millions of years ago, how it's still expanding out. If one area was starting to die out more, could that cause more of the gases to be like that? I don't know. I mean, I get to think about some of this stuff. But sometimes, you know, he was talking about the magnetic field, how the magnetic field holds everything together. I know in the last few months, sometimes when I pass by certain people, I can actually feel their energy in the sense of being cold. Now, I can feel their energy depending on what kind of a different way. Vibrational, you know, you can sense it. But this is different. This is almost like, I don't know, maybe a October morning when it's real cold, getting up out of bed, it's real cold in the house. I mean, it's kind of like that. But it's like a pocket. And if you're pushing that energy, you know, say if you take this energy, I mean, anybody can do this. I mean, has the ability to do it. if you take your hand and put it up kind of by your forehead here and quickly pull it out or push it in, something has changed, because you can feel that cold like breeze. Now, you can bring hot and cold up through your body. You can cycle that, okay? That's possible. I can do that. You can change that temperature. But what makes me wonder about all this, when he was talking about out here in the universe, what would cause that, you know, here? I mean, they say that we're going through those dust clouds, and when I sit and I listen to some of this, I theorize a little bit more about all of it, which is interesting. I was in Walmart, and there was this one person that was right beside me, and I mean, they were giving off a massive amount of cold like airflow coming off their body towards me. But they weren't directing it. They weren't, you know, throwing it out negative or positive, but they were giving that off. So their energy field was probably a lot stronger. What they, you know, you'd want to call soul energy or whatever they want to call it. The magnetic field energy that we're probably controlling with our pineal gland. But it makes me wonder, because several months ago, like I said, something changed here, and nobody likes to talk about that. I don't see anybody dip into any of that stuff, but I'm still researching it. I'm still looking at it. I've always had a theory about why some of this is taking place too, and it's probably not good, but you know, we'll discuss that in another day. So, guys, looks like it's going to be a good day today. Hardly no humidity. You know, he even said, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, he even said the solar flares that come in here were lower than what they thought was, and all of it. Energy fields, though. Interesting. People are at different levels with the chi or chai energy, or however you want to call it. I consider it more biokinetic myself, looking at it more of a scientific kind of way. But everybody has a unique signature. Some have a more unique signature than others. Age does not play a factor in any of this at all. So, you know how that goes. Because it don't matter if you're 100 years old or 7 years old. You can move that energy around. Look at that. You got to get a video of that for a second. That looks like green slime, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh my God. Did you ever have any green slime? I think it was maybe after, before you there, way before you. I used to put it in the refrigerator. Made it get thicker. You know what I thought was kind of cool in that movie we watched a couple nights back? They were talking in that one, that Seventh Son, with the alchemy and everything else. They were talking about how he was showing that one guy. Anyway, he was talking about iron and dust, and that how they pulled the energy from the evil ones down. Interesting. But if you think about it, the whole universe is like that. It can pull anything down. It can kill a star even. So some of it, somebody did their research on some of the stuff that they talk about. This tree is almost too low. I seen our Jeep buddy, it's always pulls in here night or day. Just went by, did you see that? Well, it took a long time on that spillway. Boy, make sense at all on that. But like I said, guys, something changed a few months back with this energy. And this, like I said, this field, this gas, it's like a gas pocket that you can feel. Interesting stuff, very interesting. All these groups, these cult groups, these other groups, They all got to be grouped up, don't they? They can't stand on their own 2 feet by themselves anywhere. That's what's bad. You know, the witchcraft is like, give me a year and a day. All of them have their different deals. I find it interesting. Church groups, they're using the energy too. Lots of different things. Like old Paul Bigley said, there's a lot of bad church groups out there. But it's all about controlling everything. You know? I think I like him because I watch his channel on YouTube because he just puts the information out there. Well, that's the people decide for themselves. He ain't trying to control anything. I mean, he's got his haters out there too, I'm sure, it looks like sometimes. Yeah, but nobody wants to hear the real truth, do they? About the real things. And he talks about it all, which I think is really interesting. I'm going to be disclosing some more stuff later on a few things here too. A little bit more about some of the groups here, some of the things. It's not all good. Some of the ones that use the energy for bad stuff too. Talk about one little thing real quick. Way back when I was going through my divorce, I was going over to a singles deal called Singles Ignite. And I like listening to the bands, I like dancing. My ex, she never wanted to get up and dance, never wanted to do nothing like that. I mean, it was like night and day on anything. But the thing of it is, the people that I ran into there, and there's a lot of strange stuff, guys. One thing they were using, they all knew how to manipulate the energy, and they knew how to pull energy from people. And they did some weird things. The gals, like when they would talk to the guys and stuff, they would press their legs up against the guys a lot, but not like a normal thing, but like to pull their energy, to feed off of them, almost like a vampire, which was weird. But getting on with this, I come across one time, there was a guy that was looking, for some gals too, and ran across somebody that was related to Brownback, Senator Brownback, out in Kansas. Now this guy, he used to beat up sometimes up here at Ameristar, watch the gals dance and stuff up there, and Isle of Capri. He had some money. But what was weird about this was, he was hooked into some of the other Reiki groups and other stuff over on the Kansas side. He was afraid, some of these groups here in Kansas City. I mean, he carried on him. He had some permits. I don't know how he got all the permits, but he had a 40 caliber laser sights. He had a 9mm. Went over there, did some work on his house one time too for him. But what was weird, he actually slept with an Uzi underneath his pillow. Now this is some of the groups that was at Church of the Resurrection. Man, it also runs kind of into Unity too. Strange group, my friend. Unity was using, also good, not to jump ahead here, but Unity had their own group of women that were working this energy out there at Lee's Summit. There's some weird things out there at Lee's Summit. I mean, strange, in that Unity village. I mean, there's stuff out there, it looks like something from Dracula. Went in this one, it's kind of like a log cabin. They have these two, now this is inside, it's 2 stories inside, and they have these 2 pedestals, kind of like where you would walk out on these decks. Now it looks like something out of some kind of Gothic deal or something, like they would be doing some ceremony from up top side. I mean, from weird, like ancient times or something. It was weird. I went there a couple times. That was enough for me. But they were using this biokinetic energy. They were messing with it. Oh yeah. Oh, see, I knew that the Jeep would be there. See? Isn't that something? They just love me here, guys. They love me, love me, love me. Anyway, we'll talk later. We're going to have some more disclosure about some of the stuff that goes on here in Kansas City. Have a good one.